The ship shudders violently, a bone-jarring rattle that throws us against our restraints as the event horizon crashes out of the causal seam. The view outside. It's not just empty space. It's a graveyard. The graveyard of gods. And it's filled with the bodies of giants. Before us hangs a cataclysm, frozen in time. The shattered husks of planet-sized beings, their forms like broken continents, drift silently. Dead deities, their divine light extinguished, float alongside constellations that have been snapped in half. It's a swirling, silent nebula composed of their own decaying essence. And through it all, lightning, actual lightning, made of what looks like forgotten prayers, arcs between the colossal rib cages of these fallen gods. The light itself is wrong, a sickly, twilight hue that seems to leach the color right out of our avatars, turning everything muted and grey. A robotic voice echoes through the cockpit, warning. Entering high-stress reality zone. Avatar integrity may degrade. Neural feedback dampeners at maximum. The ship is screaming at us, telling us that just being here is tearing us apart at a fundamental level. Lyra doesn't waste a second. She's already at her console, her reality stylus glowing with a soft, ethereal light. Local physics are negotiable, she murmurs, her focus absolute. Gravity is a polite suggestion. I am weaving a stable path for us. As she speaks, she draws in the air. Ephemeral, silver threads shoot out from the ship's bow, creating a shimmering, almost magical pathway through the debris field. We push the ship forward, following her silver thread. But the graveyard itself seems to fight back. A floating mountain, its surface intricately carved with the faces of a forgotten pantheon of gods, suddenly begins to weep. Tears of liquid stone pour from its carved eyes, solidifying mid-air into a storm of jagged spears aimed directly at us. Feng Ji reacts instantly. He raises the void siphon, but not to devour the spears themselves. He targets something deeper. He targets the very concept of their momentum. For a split second, the spears just freeze in space, their deadly velocity stolen from them. Then, with their purpose erased, they crumble into a fine, glittering dust that disperses into the void. Kairos' voice, calm and steady, narrates over the comms. His eyes aren't just looking at the present. They're seeing a cascade of possible futures. The prison's outer shell is the god-shattered fields, he explains. We must cross to the coordinates of the main breach. There I will isolate a temporal bubble a still moment, to give Lyra the chance to weave a bridge into the inner prison, the Hall of Broken Laws. Our window will be exactly 47 seconds in subjective time. That gives us about 10 minutes in real time before the Plagueis defenses reassert themselves and lock us out. Just then, Su Ling's voice crackles over the comms from her smaller, trailing ship. I'm reading massive energy fluctuations ahead, team. It's not just debris. There's movement. The movement she detected resolves itself out of the swirling nebula. They are plague-mantled shades. These are the corrupted remnants, the ghosts, of the gods and heroes who fell eons ago, trying to seal this very prison. They aren't solid beings anymore. They're swirling vortices of mournful memory and corrosive energy, still wearing the broken armor and shattered symbols of who they once were. They don't have health bars or energy shields. A chilling status floats above them, narrative coherence, followed by a rapidly dropping percentage, and we realize, the less they make sense, the more dangerous they become. One shade, bearing the broken icon of a sun god on its chest, rushes us. It screams at him, but the holy words glitch and distort into a horrifying digital static that grates on the ears. This is the first true test of our synergy. Lyra immediately gets to work, weaving a complex pattern of light around the event horizon. I'm setting a causal anchor, she calls out. It'll make us a fixed point in all this chaos. We won't be subject to the shifting physics. At the same time, Kairos focuses, his own chronal loom device humming with power. I am binding its temporal state, he says, his voice strained. It is reliving its final death, over and over, now. At his command, Feng Zhu strikes. He doesn't just devour the shade. He uses the siphon to target its weakest point, its low narrative coherence. He is essentially devouring the story of its corruption, erasing the dark tale that gives it form. The effect is instantaneous. The shade unravels like a poorly rendered computer file, its energy absorbed cleanly by the siphon with almost no corrupting feedback. It worked. The synergy held. But our victory is short-lived. For every shade we manage to unravel, two more seem to coalesce out of the grief-stricken nebula around us. We're not fighting an army. We are fighting the echo of an endless, ancient war. We are pruning symptoms, not curing the disease, Feng Zhu grunts, sweat beading on his brow. The strain of using the siphon so constantly is clearly taking its toll. Su Ling's voice cuts back in, sharper and more urgent this time. I'm detecting a pattern in the energy surges. This isn't a random defense system. It's a tidal rhythm. You're in the trough right now. A peak is coming in 90 seconds. They call it a breath of the prison. You need to get to cover now. Lyra scans frantically, her console flashing with red alerts. There is no cover. She cries out in frustration. All matter here is compromised. There's nowhere to hide. Suddenly, Kairos' eyes snap open, wide with a dawning, terrible realization. The peak, it's not an attack, he says, his voice barely a whisper. It's a reset. A pulse of pure null reality that will temporarily erase all anomalous data structures in the field. He turns, his gaze locking onto me and Lyra. Our powers, our very coded existence, we are anomalous data. Feng Zhu understands immediately. We're not invaders. We're a virus. And this entire prison is about to sneeze us out of existence. A deep silence begins to vibrate through the whole of the event horizon. It's a feeling more than a sound, a hum that resonates in your teeth. Outside, the already dim colors of the nebula bleach away completely, turning the entire universe into a stark monochrome landscape. The floating debris, the bodies of gods, begins to dissolve at the edges, slowly fading away. The wave of erasure is coming. The ship won't protect us from this. Lyra yells, her voice laced with panic. Feng Zhu's eyes dart from the void siphon in his hands to his allies. A desperate, insane idea flashes in his mind. Kairos, give me everything you've got. Slow our personal time to a crawl. Lyra, weave the strongest, smallest reality bubble you can possibly manage, right around the three of us. I'll try to make us nothing. Without waiting for a reply, he activates the siphon. But he doesn't aim it outward. He turns it inward, pointing it at himself, at Lyra, at Kairos. He's not trying to devour the enemy. He's trying to devour their own existence, to reduce their existential signature to absolute zero, to hide them from reality itself. The wave of pure nothingness hits, the hall of broken laws. The walls around us are a shifting mosaic of contradictory physics. 1 second, water is flowing upwards in a cascade of glowing numbers. The next, it's a cloud of singing light. The air smells sharp, like burnt ozone and rotting code. I check my systems. Corruption has spiked to 38%. That last jump, the inward devour, it cost me. A lot. Kairos is pale, his eyes unfocused. The temporal jump hit him hard. Lyra's stylus is flickering erratically. She clenches her fist. My connection to the base layer is weak, she says, her voice strained. I can still weave reality, but it's like knitting with smoke. Our goal is simple, but getting there is anything but. At the heart of this hall is the doorway to the core. But the hall itself is a non-Euclidean maze, governed by rules that defy sanity. A sign etched in pure pain floats past us. It reads, "Area ahead. Course precedes effect. Tread carefully." We take a step forward, and I feel a sharp, brutal punch to my chest. A split second later, the distorted shade flickers into existence right in front of me, its fist just beginning to swing. We're fighting in reverse. We have to react to attacks before they even visually happen. It's disorienting. And it's brutal. Every impact is a surprise. A shock you couldn't see coming because it's already happened. We push through, bruised and battered, into the next zone. Subjective gravity, the new sign announces. Personal belief defines down. The moment we cross the threshold, our team is ripped apart. Lyra, the rationalist, the weaver of logic, immediately plummets down towards a wall, which solidifies into her new floor. Kairos, already unmoored in time, just starts to drift, tumbling slowly in all directions at once. And me. My core is negation, the void. I feel no gravity at all. Instead, I feel myself unraveling, my very essence being pulled apart into the emptiness around me. We're separated, each trapped in our own private gravity well. I land in a pocket of profound, deafening silence, and then a shape rises before me. It's not a shade. It's a mirror of the void, reflecting a perfected version of myself. It's a doppelganger, wearing elegant robes, its eyes clear and radiating power. Its corruption is 0%. It speaks with my voice, but it's filled with a serene, unshakable confidence. "I am what you could be," it says calmly. "The true void sovereign. You cling to anchors, a dying sister, a fleeting comrade. They are weights. They keep you from your true ascension. You think your purpose is to join the plague. No. It's to become its master. Use its power to erase all want, all pain, all debt from the universe." The doppelganger looks at me, a flicker of something that might be pity in its eyes. "Your sister's illness. A trivial edit in the code of reality. I can show you how." It waves a hand, and a vision shimmers into existence. It's May. She's healthy, awake, laughing in a sunlit apartment. There's no debt. No cryopod. No sickness. It feels real. Palpably real. I can almost smell the clean air, feel the warmth of the sun on her face. "This is not an illusion," the doppelganger continues, its voice a seductive whisper. "It is a possible future. A reality you can enact by simply embracing your full nature. The Oracle uses you. I am you, freed. The temptation is immense. It's everything I've been fighting for, offered on a silver platter, without the struggle, without the pain." The void siphon in my hand hums, vibrating in perfect resonance with this perfect version of me. All I have to do is say yes. I close my eyes. But I don't see the smiling vision of May. I see the real memory. Her small, cold hand in mine as they wheeled her into the cryo bay. The brave, weak smile she gave me, trying to reassure me when I should have been reassuring her. I hear Su Ling's voice, her promise to watch over May. I feel the crushing weight of the debt, the burden I chose to carry. My power was never born from getting what I want. It was born from sacrifice, from everything I've given up. I open my eyes, and all doubt is gone. "You're not me," I say, my voice steady. "You're the plague's idea of me. A solution of absolute zero. I am the struggle for warmth in the cold." I raise the void siphon. Not against my double, but against the vision itself. Against the seductive, perfect future it represents. I devour the possibility. The doppelganger screams, a sound of pure agony, as its very foundation unravels. Its power was based on that perfect lie, and I have just eaten it. Meanwhile, Lyra is trapped in her own hell. A fractal paradox. It's a constantly dividing, self-replicating logical fallacy that she has to solve to escape. Her brilliant, reality-weaving mind is her greatest tool, but now it has become her prison. Kairos, still drifting through the chaos, sees something we can't. He sees all our possible timelines, all our potential futures, narrowing down to a single, vanishing point. He sees our end, and he makes a decision. His voice echoes across the chamber, cutting through the madness. Lyra, Feng, the path is collapsing. I have to create a focused time capsule. He sounds desperate, but resolved. It will freeze my local timeline, creating a stable beacon for you to navigate to. But I'll be locked in a single moment. Before either of us can even begin to protest, he activates his chronal loom. A brilliant pulse of golden light explodes from him. His form goes utterly still, frozen mid-motion, becoming a statue of shimmering, amber light. In an instant, the chaotic physics around him stabilize. A small pocket of calm, normal time is created in the heart of the madness. But Kairos, he's trapped. Lyra screams, a cry of pure anguish. The sound, the shock, it's the final jolt she needs. She solves the last layer of the fractal in a burst of genius and grief, breaking free. Her eyes lock onto the golden beacon. Feng Jiu, she yells, her voice cracking. To Kairos. It's our only waypoint. Having defeated my double, I see the beacon too. I leap through the chaotic laws of the hall, using the shifting gravity to slingshot myself towards that golden light. We reconvene at the frozen statue of our friend. We're together again. But our guide, our navigator through the currents of time, is now just a monument. We're safe, for a moment. But we are utterly lost. A looping whisper, the path is forward. The cost is now. Do not mourn. Calculate. Lyra has tears of glitching data on her cheeks. He's not dead. He's paused. Indefinitely. We have to leave him. Feng Jiu places a hand on the amber light. He brought us our path. We use it, using Kairos's frozen moment as a little anchor. Lyra weaves a desperate, direct bridge through the remaining hall. It is shaky and strains her to her limit. It is made of woven, solidified regret. The whispers of a million failed containment attempts emanate from it. This is the entrance to the nursery of nothing, the prison core. Lyra's stylus is overheating. I can't open this. It is woven from a law I don't understand, the inevitability of failure. He understands this law. It is the counterpart to his own anchor of desperate hope. He touches the iris with the void siphon. He does not try to devour the door. Instead, he feeds it. He channels the memory of his own failures, the times he couldn't pay the debt, the moment Suling was captured, the feeling of helplessness by Maze to into the siphon and into the door. The door of regret recognizes its own. It shudders, and with a sound like a dying sigh, its iris is open, in its center. Suspended in a web of cracking, golden light, the last remains of the original warden's sacrifice, is the primal plague seed. It is beautiful and horrifying. It looks like a perfect, shimmering pearl, but gazing into it reveals an endless, recursive cascade of unraveling realities. It doesn't attack. It simply is. A truth that makes existence feel like a temporary, fragile dream. Target identified. Primal plague seed. Reality integrity. Anger. Threat. Classification. Existential. Her mind reeling from the seed's passive aura. The binding web. It's failing. Feng Jiu. You have to devour the seed. Not just its energy. Its core paradox. The siphon can do it, but the feedback. It will be everything. All the corruption, all the nullity, concentrated. Feng Zhu looks from the seed to Lyra, then back through the distance. Amber speck of Kairos. This is the moment, he nods. Weave your strongest reality anchor around me. When I start, I won't be able to stop. You have to hold me together, or I'll dissipate with it. She begins to weave, silver threads of pure code wrapping around Feng Zhu, not to restrain, but to reinforce his avatar's data structure. It's a digital life support system. Feng Zhu takes a deep breath. He thinks of Mei, of Su Ling waiting in the void. He steps forward, raising the void siphon. The plague seed seems to pulse in welcome, as if eager to be united with the one force that can truly comprehend it. Initiating the final, ultimate devour, the world dissolves, not into darkness, but into a blinding, white negation. The episode's final shot is a slow pullback from the nursery of nothing. We see Lyra, a tiny figure weaving desperately. We see the frozen Kairos, a golden star in the distance. We see Feng Zhu, a black hole at the center of a white storm, the siphon connecting him to the shimmering seed. And on the very edge of perception, we see the web of golden light holding the seed begin to snap. And on the very edge of perception, we see the web of golden light holding the seed begin to snap. And on the very edge of perception, we see the web of golden light holding the seed begin to snap.